Yo. Did I sound weird today? Okay, because I'm a little sick. I have the summer flu, or what do you call it? Where it's like all sorts of congested. Like it moved from my throat up into my nose. So it like started in my throat and I had been like coughing up mucus. And now it's like in my nose where it's all like congested up there. It's pretty great. It's been pretty great. Where's your tricky dick? Who is making it today, by the way? Yeah, no, B already said that he wasn't going to be able to make it because he can only make it for Outbreak, he said. So, that was him telling you that he can't make it to this. I'm gonna turn off my phone sound. Oh, gross. You're worse than I am. I never said, yeah. No, but that sound, that I'm just warning. No, seriously, please stop it. Please stop it. I'm seriously warning you. That sound will make me throw up. It's why I have such a rough time actually being sick. Is that like even if I have a head cold, I will make myself. Oh god. I forgot that I sent Richard like a bunch of the that I had done for some website like almost a decade ago. I did it using Max's account. No thanks, Microsoft, shut the fuck up. I hate you so much. Well, didn't you have a hard time with it last time? Oh, really? That sucks. To be you. If my internet went out, I'd be like on the phone with customer support, demanding 3 days. It's like, I'm not paying you to take away my internet, I'm paying you for internet, so if you don't give me my internet, you better fucking make it up for the days that I didn't get internet. Oof. I've just been like out of it. Mm-hmm. Is everybody absent this week? Because Kat popped on for a millisecond on her phone. Yeah, like 2 minutes. Cool. I'll be on in a second. Did you want to see what I sent him? Like this shit that I worked on like almost a decade ago? Copy image. I will send it to you privately. That was an item that I had made for a website. Here's some more.
Nope.
Yeah.
Alright,
Did you see that?
Yes, and actually that's pretty damn... I like him. I like it. Cat didn't say no, so she might pop on. She might pop on late.
Or she might pop off.
Oh, God. What is this, the early 90s?
Yeah, why not? I enjoyed the 90s. Did you not enjoy the 90s?
I was a child.
So was I.
I was a little too during the 90s, okay?
I was born in 88, so...
Because
oh, yeah, I thought he wasn't going to show up today.
I thought you weren't going to make it, B, because you have 6 days a week.
Yeah, B. I mean, Brian. Wait, now I'm getting confused.
Hey, you know what? We'll take the full house. I'll take the full house.
Maybe they're just listening.
Hey, you know what? We'll take it. So what we're actually going to do now is I'm going to switch over the stream to the main screen.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
My voice mod decided it wanted to update right now.
Yeah, so question, are you with Sprint or Verizon?
Who?
You. Can you hear me now?
God
No,
damn it, Jen. God damn it. God damn it, Jen. God damn it.
Because that guy switched. He was like, what? He was with Sprint and then he switched to Verizon or something?
Yep. He's a traitor.
Hey, whoever paid more.
Well,
that was good.
I'm with T-Mobile, so...
Oh my.
T-Mobile's
Let's be
T-Mobile.
Let's be T-Mobile friends.
I'm T-Mobile.
Well,
T-Mobile.
to be fair, though, T-Mobile owns Sprint, so, it's the same thing now.
Well, that's fine, but it's T-Mobile, and I've had T-Mobile since I can remember.
Dude, I've been with T-Mobile since, like, the early 2000s, so...
I was with T-Mobile since back in, like, 05, I think? No. I was with, like... I think it was AT&T back then. And then I went to T-Mobile when I turned 18, so 2008. And then I left T-Mobile and got on a plan with Sprint, and then I left that plan to get back to T-Mobile.
What were the original cell phone carriers back in like 2004?
Oh, before we continue... Oh, sorry, guys. Oh.
Singular Wireless, AT&T, Boost Mobile, Sprint, Verizon.
Yeah, my dad was with one of those, but then when I turned 18, I got T-Mobile for myself, but I got to keep my number.
Nice.
Yeah. So I've had the same cell phone number since I was 16.
Yeah, I purposefully changed that number.
Oh, see, I didn't.
You have a Stalker X?
Me? No. It was just I didn't. to like be on the same number.
Now, before I do the opening, if you guys haven't had a chance to check out that show I posted that I did the spooky ghost voice for on Discord, Bunker Brothers, they're actually on Spotify and they're fucking hilarious.
I haven't seen it. Is it just a radio show?
It's a comedy audio drama.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking, basically.
Yeah,
radio equals audio.
Sorry, my bad. No. Think Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy audio drama.
Okay.
Nice.
They're fucking hilarious. They're on Spotify. I actually didn't know that. So,
Real quick, sound check, Kat. I'm not hearing you talk. If you have said.
hold
I don't
on,
think Kat said anything at all.
Let me make sure I got her turned up. Yep.
Well, I don't hear her talking at all, so I don't know if she's talking.
Oh, I have not indeed been talking.
That's why I was checking before we go live.
Yep.
Oh no, I just haven't said a word.
Yeah. Cat being cat.
Oh, now my good friends, the most important thing of all. Hey everybody, it's your favorite group of nerds, and we've put away the toys, and it's time for us to get dirty. It's your favorite host, the Nerdy Cephalopod, and I'm joined by my favorite group of friends. How about we all introduce ourselves? Let's start. Who wants to go first?
Hi. That's how you get it.
That's it.
Oh God, it hurts.
It's Sir Tricky Dick Bananas over here.
That is me.
Well, since he decided.
Oh.
Oh no! Go ahead.
I was gonna say I'm the dirtiest of pancakes, but with a Q.
I love it.
So what is that, like a Denny's pancake?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Hey.
I was gonna say a
Are we
Waffle
sponsored
House.
by them?
No.
But, hey, Denny's is great when
Say
you're
that.
drunk, like IHOP. when it's like 3 a.m. and you need that. And you need
Yeah,
that
when you're
soda by
desperate
Henry.
enough. Uh-huh. I agree.
I thought it was supposed to be chicken and waffles.
I will forgive this.
Yeah.
I will forgive this because you know what? Some fucking Waffle House chicken and waffles is the shit.
This is why we're in off topic. So that's Cat or Pancakes. I'm Jen or Ocean Crest.
Nerdy Jen.
No. Okay. I decided to go halfway with you, and I'd be like, I'll be Dirty Jen.
I will forgive this. Okay, let's do it.
Oh yeah, there's two dirties now.
Yeah.
I'm with it. I can live with that. I'll stop harping on it.
Okay.
And then you got Nerdy Royal Flush, one of the two Brians.
So does that make you degenerate? Like dirty degenerate? Like
Oh,
Jen?
D-Gen.
or-
Yeah, D-Gen.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm just
no,
making sure.
No, I love it. I love it so much that, I'll totally be D-Gen.
Nice. So,
well, that's the thing.
Sorry, Brian.
No. That's a thing now.
Yay!
Yeah.
It's canon.
And that's how nicknames happen.
It's
naturally,
canon!
people.
Oh my gosh.
So, for this week...
Wait, did Brian introduce himself?
Oh,
Yeah, he did. You weren't paying attention.
You were not.
Sorry, I was lost in
You're
work.
caught up.
In fact, I don't think B introduced himself, even though this is his stream.
No,
so to be fair,
he was the first one to introduce himself. See,
He's like, thank
Okay.
you guys.
maybe I
Me.
super didn't pay attention.
Yeah.
I'm starting to think that we're gonna need an order to this.
Jen,
Yeah.
I am so glad at least you actually paid attention to my intro and you actually heard me do it. So, I actually brought together... So, guys, we are here this week because... Don't want to... Not just about gaming news or anything. I actually want to talk about role-playing. I want to talk about what it means to us as a group, because... Everyone here is a very, 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 very super talented role player, and they all play in the Outbreak Undead campaign, and they're fucking amazing. And let's get behind the heads of everyone who plays. Let's find out. Shit.
Well, it's not hard to make decisions for yourself, but I have a lot more fun role-playing NPCs when I'm like a dungeon master. Especially since did you guys ever hear the story of how I made one of my players literally cry during
The story?
during a role play?
I mean,
May we
I mean,
hear
I-
the
go
story,
on.
please?
Okay, so I was DMing a game over in Okinawa for a bunch of military guys, and I made one of the guys break down and cry. And so they were going through this forest trying to chase down this horde of undead, and the horde was like going through the forest just wiping out whatever was in their path. And they had stumbled across like a seemingly dead family of dire wolves. And one of them was a ranger who really wanted a pet, and I hated the pet ranger back then, so I was like, I'm just gonna give you a pet. So obviously, baby direwolf found underneath his mom's corpse next to the corpses of his brothers and sisters. And this guy's like, oh my god, direwolf puppy, we're gonna save it. I love it so much. And the idiot who, he was brand new to D&D. This was his first, it wasn't his first session, but it was his first campaign ever. And when he had first come into the campaign, he came and he was like, what up, nerds? Time to play dumb nerd games. And the first time he ever tried to roleplay, he walked up to, like, a bartender and said, what up, shopkeep? So he's like, by this point, he had really gotten into, like, his character and his connection to other characters surprisingly well. So he decided, against all odds, to cast Speak with Animals.
Oh no.
To talk to this direwolf pup who literally just lost his family. and he's so like oblivious to everything around him in the game that he keeps trying to like calm down this puppy, and I'm having to roleplay as this puppy now because he decided to play Speak with Animals. And he's like, yeah, we'll save you and we'll save your family and we'll like help them. And he's like, he looks at his dead mother's corpse and he's just like, you're gonna bring them back? And suddenly everyone in the group just looks at him like they can't understand what the pup's saying. They can't understand what he's really saying to the pup, and they're just like, dude, you've done fucked up. And so it goes through this entire roleplay session back and forth, and by the end of it, this guy's like bawling, and he's like, I just want to hug the puppy. Yeah, it was pretty fucking great though.
You're a monster.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I didn't make him cast Speak with Animals. I wasn't the one that forced him to say all the things that he did to that puppy to bring about the reactions, because at that point, I'm just reacting to what he's saying based on what has happened already.
Oh my
was like-
goodness.
It was pretty great. It was pretty great though.
Well, he got what he fucking deserved then.
I was like, and let me remind you, I was like DMing a group of like 7 or 8 people at the time, and they're all just like staring daggers at him as this is going down.
Wait, people used to play D&D in person?
Yeah, like this was like a few years ago.
4 times.
Yeah, in the before times.
I always forget about the before times. It
The
Yeah.
long ago.
was so long ago.
It was before the sick.
The big sick.
Provider.
Say it that way.
We used to play with the provider. Sorry, really bad Children of the Corn joke. I told you, Jay, I
Yeah.
was on a Stephen King kick.
That was Stephen
But yeah,
King.
so that's-
Children of the Corn.
Dude, that's a Stephen King book, dude.
That makes
Yeah,
so much sense.
So
Those
so
movies
that was
scared the
my
shit out of me. Sorry.
so that was my story about role playing and how it can affect characters and growth and all that stuff. I'm sure Brian has some.
Well, I mean, there was the time I made Stacy cry, although I don't think that was too difficult to do, and it was for a much more normal reason, not torturing my player with puppy murder.
I didn't murder. Okay, well, they were
You know
dead,
what you did, Ben. You know what you did.
but I let him keep the puppy.
God.
I let him keep the puppy.
Aw.
Okay, wait.
Well,
Technically, I made my wife cry.
That's
Go on.
Oh. Okay, well, it's Jen participated in this particular one.
Oh no! Did I cause?
Kind of,
Oh
to
no!
an extent. You caused the lead up to this.
Okay.
I've told part of this story before. I don't know if on the podcast, but I've definitely told you guys part of the story. I had a really well planned out and thought out dungeon where the end result was they were going to fight this big bad evil guy who was a sorcerer who specialized in frost magic. And long story short, at some point, actually, I think it was the same dungeon where Stacy cried, but like the next session. But anyway, so they spent like 2 sessions diving into this dungeon, and at some point they find a room full of bandits, and our resident thief decided to help everyone disguise, and they were pretending to be bandits alongside them and seeing what information they could get. Well, our thief was gambling with the other bandits to try to make some extra coin. The other characters found a cook, and because they heard them talking about the cook wanted to make something special for the boss's birthday kind of thing.
Oh no! I think I remember this.
Oh, you remember this. You'll remember this. You'll know exactly what happens. Well, the party found out that it was the boss's birthday and that he liked chocolate cake. B is dying. Sounds like B is dying.
I'm fine. Keep going.
So there's some chocolate cake to be made, and they've decided to poison the cake. Although not in a conventional way with, poison, they decided to make as many good berries as possible under the assumption that it would work like lembas bread, and the more that you eat of it, the more sick and disgusted you would be until you died.
Yeah.
For those who don't know lembas bread, it's the elvish bread that feeds you, like one piece of it will feed you for a whole day. Goodberry works much the same, although technically there's a rule as written that says it can't kill you from overeating, but we overlooked it because rule of cool, and they were baking it into a fucking cake. So, gotta do it. Anyways, so they baked this whole cake, and they've got this whole plan going, and my wife, Kat, was playing a ranger who had discovered that the guy wanted the chocolate cake. And through using her thieves' cant that she knew, although she rolled fairly low and didn't know whether or not what she heard was correct. So they make they go through the whole process, they make the cake, they take it to the big bad evil guy's door pretending to be his entourage of minions. And he looks at the cake and goes, "I fucking hate chocolate." And he throws it on the ground. And in what may be the most anticlimactic boss battle ever, since they got this close, I believe he was a paladin or a fighter, whoever it was Dan's character, I'm pretty sure. Oh, it was a monk. It was a monk. That's what he was.
Yeah.
It was a monk who had barroom fighting or grappling or whatever. He grapples this character, though in character he pushed the character down and held him to the floor. Well, everyone else proceeded to beat the shit out of him. which is the day I also found out how broken grappling is in a group scenario with a single target. So they beat the shit out of my boss while stuffing cake down his throat. And at some point, he broke free for only a moment. He was about to die anyways. And he cast, I believe, some kind of frost spell where... Ice Storm, yeah. Where it hit all of them. But they all made their saves, except for our intrepid ranger's dog.
Who I named after my real life dog.
Who she named after her real life dog. This dog had exactly the number of hit points that were available, and as we had been playing, there were no death saves for pets or NPCs. This dog died. And Cat proceeded to just sob quietly in the corner. Well, everyone who realized what just happened fucking panicked to use their one Revivify potion that the whole party had, which in this world there was very, very little magic.
I mean, I convinced everyone not to, but yeah.
It was a magical reawakening kind of thing, where the world didn't have magic and it was becoming more commonplace, but no one really understood why. So they had a Revivify potion that in that world would have been worth a fortune, like a whole kingdom for one potion to resurrect somebody. And they were going to give it to the dog because she was crying. Everyone in the party was like, no, give it to the dog. Just get it to the dog immediately because it only has a minute to be used. She convinces them not to, and then the next immediate thing she does is find a new dog and name it the same name, and her character in-game pretended like the dog never happened, like that never happened.
God. Oh my god.
Her dog's name was Tickle, and I had to sit there while she was like, nope, this is the same Tickle. I don't know what you're talking about. None of that ever happened.
A completely different looking dog.
Completely different looking dog, yeah.
Tickle.
The following session, the thief who had gotten them into a bunch of that mess was the only one who could read a particular book that was in a trap on the way out. The trap was written in a language only she knew.
Oh,
and
no, I read the book, but...
Well, you read the book. No, I don't think you know what book I'm talking about. It was on the pedestal. She read the book.
I was the one who told everyone.
No, you guys didn't know what she was doing. You knew, obviously, out of character, but in character, you guys didn't know what she was doing. That's why she got so upset. Not upset, she chose to do it herself. But she had gotten them basically into that entire dungeon of bandits because of her greed. And in the end, when she touched the book, it was an acid trap where acid started filling a small room with the whole party, and they had to climb up on top of like a little pedestal, and the book on top of the pedestal was written in a language that only Stacy's character knew, and I did that specifically because she got you into all that mess, and I wanted her to make a character choice. It said that basically everyone could leave, but one would have to stay behind. So basically, when she read that out, a door opened above them that they could reach from the pedestal. But the last person to leave, once most of them were out of the room, the last person to leave, the door would slide shut. Seemingly trapping her, and she was at that point sobbing because she believed that she had just sacrificed her character for her friends. And since she had made the character choice, I presented her with the prize, which is once the floor melted away right before it reached the top of the pedestal, the floor melted away and dropped into a neutralizing agent where she was sitting inside of basically a pool of neutralized water. and a giant room of gold and treasure. So, very much made her cry once again of relief that time, because her character had not died.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Yep. I would, I'll share the story of how I cried on the Twitch stream. So
What?
yes, on another role player's stream, Mr. Scott Case Files, on his Monster of the Week, I ended up crying like a bitch. So, in our campaign for Monster of the Week, in that system, one of the characters, you can make it to where they are focused on revenge against a certain kind of monster. And me and him had secretly concocted a whole plot for the Wendigo. And this is where Fenrir, Charles, Darcy, and Dumas come from. And so, Charles, his son was actually the Wendigo, but this is unbeknownst to me as the player how Scott was going to introduce it. We go through the whole session, and near the end, as we're fighting the Wendigo, he has it revealed that the damn thing's wearing the wedding ring of the mother. And all my players and all the other players are just like wigging out, like, "Oh fuck, dude, you know what this thing is?" And I'm like, "I cut its fucking head off." And as the scene ends, my character recognizes the monster as his child, and it just ends with me cradling the Wendigo's head, and it made me break down because it's just like, oh god, this is disturbing and sad. And then the dog ate the Wendigo head and became possessed.
Nice.
As you do.
Oh man, those campaigns where you get hit with the feels. I love that. I love that very much.
Yeah, I'm wondering how I'm gonna mess with my players this time around because I'm getting ready to DM a new game. But it's going to be more like a Indiana Jones-esque adventure.
Is Shia LaBeouf going to be present?
Oh my god, you just made me think about like the Shia LaBeouf song, and I kind of want to include something like
Actual
that.
cannibal Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah,
Shy surprise.
that'd actually be pretty great. That'd be a pretty great Easter egg if they
Do it. And then
Yeah,
you
it
should
works.
record it and then send it to us.
Well, I think we're gonna be playing over at a friend's place, so it's like I prefer to do games in person.
Ooh.
You
Yeah,
can
I
still
know.
record it. Just, throw on a little recording app. Voice memo. Do it. Do it. Why aren't you doing it? Do it. Do it.
Because we haven't had session 0 yet, bud. We're gonna do that on Wednesday.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Wednesday.
You're gonna pay for the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge.
What is that from?
Oh, every monster truck like rally ad ever.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Dude,
It
I'm
reminds me of an old animation that I used to watch like back in like 2005.
I mean, I guess it's in a way kind of close to like the Dragon Ball Z narrator, but not.
No,
really.
but they were making fun of the whole monster truck thing.
Oh yeah.
Except it was like an ad for like a mall or something.
Dude, I'm sorry. I have to do this Family Guy quote. Sunday, Dr. Rothstein, fully Jewish.
Was that like the Family Guy? Or like
Yes.
a guy
that's
from your
actually the
family?
quote. No, Family
Okay.
Guy.
Ooh, that must have been in the later years.
Yeah,
Nope.
I would be honest. I don't know
the
that
first
one.
4 seasons. Nope, it's in the first 3 seasons when it was actually good.
Define good.
when they didn't do cutaway jokes every fucking 30 seconds, and it was more about the actual writing of the main plot versus them having an A, B, C, D, E, F, G plot line. This was during the time of one of the most controversial episodes from Family Guy, When You Wish Upon a Jew.
Oh no! I know it.
I need a Jew. God damn it.
I vaguely remember that. Was Brian singing that song?
Nope, it was Peter. He's staring out the window. He's staring out the window, looking at the stars, and they become a fucking dreidel.
Oh my gosh! So, Brian, Kat, do you guys remember when I got obsessed with like D100 tables when I was DMing?
I remember what's in the orc's pocket.
Do you remember what's in the hole?
Wasn't that just another version of what's in the orc's pocket?
No, it was like I had you guys in the caverns, and like everybody was like, it was when Max was playing his crazy druid character that was like drink the good grain, except it was acid.
Wait, Max playing a crazy character?
Yeah, Max was playing a Durgar druid that was like obsessed with this pitcher plant that he had, and he'd drink the acid so it looked like he had like mutton chops because like it burned away like his chin basically. And they were walking through this one area of like the Underdark, and like I had recently found a D100 table that was like, what's in the hole? Like, you found a hole in the wall. What's in the hole? and so everybody was like, yeah, I wanna stick my hand in a hole and see what's in there. It was like some people found stuff, some people got hurt.
Your tables were the sole reason I stopped trying to steal things as a character. What's in the orc's pocket was awful.
What's in the orc's pocket was awful because like half the time you end up with like a bit of junk in your hand.
One of them was literal poop because orcs don't have pockets.
But no. So everybody in the group knew that Max's character was crazy. Like literally, he's drinking acid and he's literally crazy. And so like everybody's like sticking their hand in holes and like finding stuff. And Max is like, yeah, I want to do that too. So he rolls and he gets the exact number that he needs. That everybody's watching him reach out to this hole, and he pulls the hole off the wall like a Looney Tunes cartoon. Because it's a portable hole.
Oh no.
Yep.
And so I had everybody roll like insanity checks because they all know that his character's insane, and for him to do this, they have to start questioning their own sanity.
Portable hole. Well, I'll be taking this.
Yeah, Kat, do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yep. I remember him planning immediately to turn it into some kind of supernova.
Oh yeah, he wanted to stick it in the bag of holding.
Yeah, we had to tell him no.
Oh. You should have let him do it.
Oh, I was sure it was going to happen. I think the game didn't get to go as far as we wanted for some reason or another.
We had some people drop out and shifts change. Also, that was the same campaign that you guys, like, what's his name? The other guy?
Vinny?
Vinny. Vinny was the master of Greece.
As a matter of fact, speaking of Vinny...
Wait a minute.
He's
I'm the
online
master of Greece.
He kept
slick.
Yeah, they had like a mini boss fight like near the beginning of the campaign, and Vinny basically like threw grease on the ground, lit it on fire, and the lady couldn't make her saves to stand up.
Okay.
So she's prone this entire time.
Was this young guy Vinny, or was this the old guy?
Bearded Vinny.
It was Tim.
That was Tim.
Yeah, that was Tim.
I was like, hold on.
I didn't get that it was Vinny because it was like, I'm like, are you sure?
Yeah, Vinny.
I'll trust you because
Yeah, Vinny
I
was the
met
guy
him through
that.
you guys.
No, Vinny was the guy that you guys played with while you were in Okinawa.
Yeah, on Discord.
Yeah.
The one that was like afraid of my trap bard.
Oh, he was. I miss hanging out with Tim. He was afraid of a lot of things. A good guy, just
Tim?
yeah,
Or Vinny?
Yeah. No, Tim. He was I don't know. He was a nice guy. He was kind of agoraphobic, kind of socially anxious, but he was a very nice guy.
Yeah, but he kept that drow lady like on the floor the entire fight with that grease.
Oh
also,
yeah.
his fucking moonbeam just melted people.
Yeah.
He was a terrifying druid.
Oh yeah.
Jen, you bring up Grease, and I only think of one character.
What?
My favorite menace I have ever created. Well, actually, wait, no. Because I actually ended up hating that fucking character near the end. I will have to share that story. Fucking Rothgar.
I always think of the orcs of Greece. Let's roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, literally, this is the character I made, a fucking pro wrestler dragonborn that was obsessed with oil, covering himself in oil all the time.
Well, that's oil. That's not grease.
I was
Oh, no,
the paladin. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, does it keep going, Cat? Tell him about Nixie.
Oh, yeah. I was the paladin that never missed an attack. And it was demons, so, smiting do like fucking 30 points of damage per hit.
Did you sing that song back then?
What song?
Because you never missed. Hit or miss.
Well, there was literally a point where I was like, oh god, I can't stand Rothgar anymore. He's become his own entity. He's too fucking stupid. I have to make him do even more insane shit every time. You must die. There's literally a point I muted myself in the fucking Discord and I'm just screaming, die, you stupid bastard, die!
Just cast sleep on him and make all our problems go away.
I mean, that's what my trap bard would do if there were problems. Do you remember the crying woman that was sick that I was just like, I don't want to deal with you. Sleep.
Yeah, be like
Jen.
that.
What?
Dude, Cat literally warns my character, do not touch this sword. Here's Rothgar. I'm gonna take it right in front of her and reaches for it. It's like, nope, I don't care. Oh, wait. Oh, my God. And I just remember I fucked over Dan so bad in that. Do you guys remember the stained glass? Jin, there's a stained glass painting that looks like Dan's character. My character's like, oh, fuck no. No, I am the only one who's allowed to have paintings of him. Fuck this. I'm destroying this motherfucking thing.
Yeah.
And the minute it gets destroyed, the fucking weapon for Dan disappears from existence.
Oh, dude, that's fucked up. You're the worst.
I felt like such an asshole because I thought it was just a stupid fucking window.
You're such a selfish character. Oh my gosh. I was like, oh, did Brian ever tell you, like, he told me about this because I wasn't really there for it. But, remember Christ started a religion in one of your games?
Oh, yeah.
I love the fact that his name is Christ and he started a religion.
Glorious.
Yeah.
Tell the story.
There's a reason that Christ, as much as I love him, I love him to death, he can't play D&D with me.
He also knows this too, by the way.
He's aware of this. He's fully self-aware. He can't stop himself. He metagames and power games so fucking hard. He's the guy that if you play Magic the Gathering with him once, he'll take everything that he learned about your deck and he will build the exact counter to it in the most annoying way possible. And then when he's got you completely like outclassed and on the ropes, you'll be like, okay, well, just finish it. And he'll be like, okay, but one more turn. Just take one more turn. And you'll be like, no, I don't want to take one more turn. Like, I'm going to just surrender. And he'll be like, no, come on, don't surrender. Just do one more turn. Let's see what happens. Just so he could build up the combo that will hit you with like the most damage physically possible in his deck.
To be fair, he also fucked himself over in that once.
Once, but that was because he didn't expect what we did.
Yeah.
But so hold on, Devin's asking a question in podcast planning that I don't think he understands.
Is he seriously asking what D&M stands for?
I guess he never realized that was the name of the show. So okay. Christ made.
oh man, Richard, you put my response there.
Yeah, Christ.
You're welcome. Save you some typing.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was his second character in that campaign. So the way I explained earlier, it was a world that didn't have a lot of magic. But magic was awakening. The whole reason for that, it was supposed to be a alternate dimension kind of thing of like Faerun, and it was taking place in a dimension where Faerun was like two parts. It was like split into two parts, and one side had magic and one didn't. But the two worlds were like merging, and so magic was awakening in the non-magical version of Faerun. The party got teleported there after some DM reworking of a campaign that wasn't really getting off the ground very well. They didn't like playing the Dragon Queen's Horde, so we portaled the fuck out of there, as you do, into this other world where Christ had ended up with a paladin, I believe it was a dragonborn paladin of.
Yeah, because Dan's and Christ's characters are brothers.
Right. His was a dragonborn paladin of Bahamut. Yes.
Nice.
Sorry, I was trying to remember that.
Ooh.
But at some point he started asking about distributing like pamphlets and flyers and his holy book. Now, at some point, I did ask him if he had a copy of his holy book, and he said it's all up here, and he pointed at his head. And I just said, okay. Well, his intelligence was like a 9 or an 8 because he's a power player, and so he's like, intelligence is a dump stat.
He put 20 in strength.
20 in strength.
No. Intelligence
is a dump stat, but I'm gonna write a book about a god in a world where magic is starting to form. So he starts building a religion in a world that did not have deities. They had like hints of deities, but not real deities. And particularly so because magic didn't exist, so there were no magical deities. So, in my opinion, what creates, a magical deity is a following. And so he had been building for weeks, months even. I think it was probably like about 8 months of this campaign that he'd been distributing and building a church. And at some point, the church started getting a little big for what he could handle, and he basically appointed more or less a pope. Oh boy, so that got weird fast. He eventually became a figurehead where as everyone understood it, nobody knew what a dragon looked like. So when he explained a dragon named Bahamut, they understood it as what he was, a silver dragon born. And so Bahamut started coming to life, but he was like its avatar.
Oh, God.
And the problem with that is because he was a Oath of Vengeance paladin who was not very smart and particularly was super into the warlike parts of being a paladin. He wrote a book that was essentially chaotic, or not chaotic evil, but like lawful evil at best.
Oh, no.
At best. Like, it was bad. Like, I rolled for it and everything. It was particularly bad what he made. And so he started taking on quite a bit of a dark persona. And eventually his character, through the deification of itself, became a villain. And essentially he had to turn over his character sheet at some point, and he became a villain. And someone who had gotten a wishblade with one wish left decided to accidentally level everyone up to max. It was also around the time that we were wrapping up the campaign as a whole, so they wished for the big bad evil guy to be defeated. At which point I revealed essentially all the plot hooks that were going into it, where they became the deities who eventually defeated the elder god who had separated the two worlds. Pretty fun campaign, if I do say so myself. It was probably 2 years running. I think Jen was there for probably a good half of that.
I was there for a short bit. I think that was my wizard.
Yeah, that was your wizard. You were there for a good portion of it. Like, you maybe not half, but like
my obsessiveness about magic items and the like.
Yeah, but yeah. So Christ, after that character realized, he's like, I can't play this game with you. He's like, you don't understand. He's like, the feeling like I'm playing a character not in its most maximized way feels bad, and feeling like I'm playing my most maximized way and realizing that I'm taking like 4 turns when everyone else takes like 1 is also bad. And he's like, he was like, I don't feel like I want to do that to everyone else, so he's like, I gotta step away. So yeah, that particular game was, I would say, probably one of the best that I've ever been part of. It was kind of an honor to be a part of that, because as much as I DM'd and like felt like I was, writing the world, realistically the players were what made that for me. And that's how DMing is for me most of the time. The players are what makes the game. The DM is a storyteller at best, an adversary at worst, but at the end of the day, without players, write a book. I mean, that's what it comes down to. And
Yeah.
and that's really where I land on your question for the day was, what does role playing mean to you? Role playing to me means getting to sit down with friends and unwind and explore a world that, even though I can't see it in my head, I get to be a part of. I get to be a part of your world for that little bit of time. And
not take things too seriously either.
Yeah, of course not. No. I mean, like, so the other reason was Christ has definitely gotten into an argument where it ended with like, okay, session's over, guys. Let's all take a breather, that kind of thing. That's happened. That was the other reason that he needed to step away. He was like, I can't have that happen again.
That happened one of the times that I was there. We ended up playing like a card game afterwards.
Well, yeah, he had to fully step outside and like take a moment. Yeah, that one was rough.
Ooh.
Yeah, for me, DMing is always a reactionary thing. Like, I'll set up a basic plot outline, and I won't go too far into it because I'd rather not like railroad an idea and force characters to go like certain directions. So it's more like I set up plot, I set up like a bunch of little seeds for the players to choose from, and then I react to what the players do more so than I actually plan out what's going to happen.
Well, that's really the thing when it comes to DMing. You could sit there and plot out like a whole course, but at the end of the day, it's never going to survive meeting your players.
Nope.
Exactly. So it's like so for me, it's more reactionary. Like I'd rather have that. What's it called? Like the improvisation. I'd rather just improv most of the things and have a basic idea than to plan out things that may or may not work, and especially don't want to make the characters feel like I'm pushing them one direction.
Kat, Richard, thoughts?
I actually thought I got disconnected there. Because it's like never quiet. I mean, I haven't had much to say just because you're literally my only second group I've ever played with. And my first group I only played 3 to 5 sessions with, mainly because there was one player that was a little too dedicated to his role as a very goofy orc warrior with 0 intellect and refused to speak in his normal speaking voice.
God damn it.
And he just wanted to smash everything. He kind of reminds me of Devin a little bit. In retrospect.
I hope Devin's listening to this.
I hope so too.
Me too.
Oh no.
Dick move.
Just in wearing glasses, kind of nerdy sort of thing, and tone of voice. But anyways, he wanted to smash everything, and it just wasn't fun. Along with, it's funny that you mentioned the DM being very deep in the storytelling. You may as well just write a book. This guy was literally a literature, going to college for his literature or his PhD in English.
Oh.
Yeah.
I know. Oh my gosh. Oh no.
And so he literally was writing a story, like a novel based on this story, and he was very heavy-handed with the directions that we took. And I definitely annoyed him with my noobness because he called me autistic at one point. The character autistic. Because
Well, see, I have I've had to deal with a lot of new players since I had moved out to Okinawa, and my husband was basically like dying to play D&D again, and he had a few people that wanted, like at work, wanted to try it at least once. So like at one point I had almost an entire campaign full of just brand new people to D&D, and it's like a few of them you could tell really loved reading and really loved books and really loved like main character ideas and stuff. And when I'd sit down and I'd be like, okay, like make your characters, some of them would write out like pages of backstory when I'm like,
no.
remember I'm starting you guys at level 1. Like your story is what's going to happen. And like I had a couple people like that where I was like, I'd have to be like, hey dude, so your story hasn't happened yet. This is just the beginning. Like you're not some guy who lost his memories and is now like wandering the countryside with like these crazy overpowered powers. Like you're not. You're level 1. So I've had to rein in some new players that think like that. And I've seen players that have been playing D&D for a while that will still do that. Because they just want like an overpowered character, or like I don't know what kind of groups they've been in the past, but like when you're starting at like level 1 to level 3, it's like you have to realize your character's brand new to adventuring, basically. This is gonna be their story. They haven't already been through a story yet. In general.
Yeah. All those people had protagonistitis.
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm the main character.
You can't be the main character, I am.
It's all about me.
But no, it's like if you rein them in, especially when they're brand new players, and you show them how to properly do it, they'll eventually get into it properly, as far as I'm concerned. But it's like, yeah, you like, especially in a group of like 6 to 7 people, you don't want one person being like, I'm the main character, I'm the one with all the backstory, why isn't this really me? Like, no, it's like I do my best to spread out from session to session. Like, everyone is important in this group.
What if somebody wants to play a support character?
I mean,
That's important too.
Max has played a support character without realizing that he built a support character.
Was he disappointed?
He was disappointed at first until he realized his strengths for doing it. Where he was basically making it so that my life was the most frustrating thing about us playing. It was like he made this sorcerer that like all his spells basically debuffed the enemies to where like they always had disadvantage on attacks, and they always had advantage on them for other people attacking them.
So when it comes to playing a support character, you can easily make a support character feel important. The way that you do that is you can make a character who's generally selfless make a choice. And make their choice matter, you know? Like, their choice is deciding whether or not to save an NPC, or, you know, there's ways to squeeze that in. You can make it where their decision is whether or not to help somebody, not the group's. You make someone feel important when you're playing by giving them agency. Not group agency for what the support character will do, but what does the support want to do? What does that character want to do here? And that's how it works really for everybody.
But that also falls on the DM a bit, because a lot of times players are caught up in their own thing, which is normal because you're playing your character. And so, like, as a DM, I've noticed multiple times, especially with the larger groups that I've had a DM, like when it's like 7 or 8 people, having to notice the people that are quieter and that are sitting in the back and having to bring them forward.
Well, here's
So I had a thing about it where it's like I said, I had a lot of new people in a group, and there was one girl that really wanted to get into D&D, but she was like a bit shy. She was playing a barbarian, and so one of the barbarian tribes that they ran into, I made it so that it's like, yeah, they don't really speak the common tongue that well, so she's the only one that can really communicate with them. And so suddenly she was extremely important to the group, and she was like suddenly role-playing much more than she was before, where she was just like sitting in the back waiting for things to happen.
No, yeah, absolutely.
And she had a lot of fun that game, and so like it brought her out a little bit more the next few sessions.
That's a definite way to do it, but you also, as a DM, you have to also kind of read the players, which is why this is so much easier to do in person, and like,
which is why I prefer it in person.
Yeah, absolutely, because there's a very fine line between this person isn't out of their shell role playing yet, and this person is not particularly comfortable enough with these people to come out of their shell. Because
see that's why it's important in person, because like I noticed that she seemed like she wanted to do things, but she didn't feel like she could because she didn't know what she could add to the group. So it's like it's one of the really important things about why I like playing in person, so that I can pick up on all the small body language of the players, so I can figure out like what needs to happen.
Yeah. As a DM, you can. There's nothing that will scare a person off that's already possibly socially anxious, who wants to play, than being put in a spotlight. That will make a person sometimes just go, no, can't do that. So you really, it's a very subtle thing you have to kind of read and be aware of. And mistakes do happen. Sometimes you do call out a character with the best of intentions, and things don't always go well.
Well, that's why I waited a couple sessions first. Like I was trying to feel her out, like why she was like sitting in the back and not doing anything, and I realized what was actually going on.
Oh no, I'm not saying that about you. I'm saying that.
I'm just saying like you don't do it right away. Like you have to kind of pick up on it. Yeah,
I was saying that more for just a general. If anyone's listening to this, that's sort of what you're looking for. So like gaming and DMing in particular, I ascribe to something that basically, I mean, I'm sure I've heard it other places. But I used to watch Matthew Colville's DMing guides and how to be a better DM. And he has one piece of advice that he shares constantly, that as a DM, if my players are having fun, I'm having fun. What I think is fun is like what I go, oh, this is how I'm going to have fun. That doesn't matter. In a game, if my players are having fun, I'm having fun. If I'm not having fun, then I shouldn't want a DM. That must be the problem, is that I'm not wanting to have fun. DMing is as much a responsibility as it is a privilege. And your goal is not to just write what you think is going to be fun. Your goal is to make sure everyone at the table is having fun. It's your table. And if you can't have fun when everyone else is having fun, you should reevaluate what you're doing, Yeah,
like that's what it is for me, is like I generally, like at the end of most sessions, I'm like, did everyone have fun? Like, does everyone feel like they got something out of this? It's for me, I'm very, very worried about whether or not my players had fun, and that really relates to how much fun I've had playing it.
I mean, I try not to stress on the fact, but I do try to make sure that I'm at least attempting to include everyone as well as I can. And there's going to be, obviously, there's some sessions where someone may not be feeling fully up to role playing, and maybe they're just going to back down a little bit more than usual. And there'll be sessions where someone kind of takes the spotlight. Those happen, and all you can really do as a DM is just kind of try to shift things around to give other people a chance, and go, hey, we've heard a lot about what your character's doing. Let's hear from the rest of your team, But realistically, at the end of the day, if my table's having fun, I'm having fun. And that's the piece of advice that has stuck with me, like, from the beginning.
So Brian, I have a question for you. Since, like, you and I have probably DM'd the most out of our groups.
Sure.
It was like, have you ever had, like, a player that was, like, new to your groups just be, like, the worst?
Yes.
Like, the worst in every aspect.
I had a player, the first time I ever attempted to DM anything, or GM anything, was a GURPS campaign, far before I met Kat. It actually almost put me off of tabletop role-playing altogether. So a friend of ours, Tony, and well, actually a whole group of our friends. It was Tony, Christ, Mike, Ryan, and myself. We all decided we wanted to try a tabletop.
Was it Harry too?
It was Harry too, but he came last second. So that was the group that was intending to play. I helped Tony sit down. I essentially was co-DMing with him while playing myself. I was helping him understand the roles, and Tony wanted to be the DM. He was planning a Resident Evil style survival horror type game, and and we all wrote our characters, and we had the splat books open to what we had available, and we were all everything was all good, and Harry, Ryan's brother, sat down and was like, "Oh, hey, I want to play too." Even though he had never expressed any interest, we thought, okay, sure, we'll see where it goes. So we help him write a character while we're playing, and his character, it's time for him to get introduced. And we had gone over it. It looked, like just a normal, capable character, except he had, unknown to us, written his entire character based around the idea of PvP, and broke through a window and killed everyone.
Oh,
That's fucked up, man.
Oh.
And we had no idea it was coming. And everyone just sat there dumbfounded at the fact that this guy just killed everyone.
Like, why though? Why would you do that?
Yeah, and we closed the book, and we almost never talked about it again. I almost never played again. It wasn't until I was in college when someone was like, I think it was Spencer was around the first time I think we played together. Kat?
We did on my birthday.
Yeah, it was our buddy Spencer was like the first time.
It was my first tabletop.
Yeah, and it was I think 4th edition D&D, so it was awful.
Oh, gross!
It was awful, and none of us liked it. And Kat actually killed everyone as well, but this time unintentionally.
Yeah, it was the house rule, I guess, on Chromatic Orb, and I was playing a Wild Mage Sorcerer.
Oh, it wasn't a house rule. It was you failed an attack, and it says that it bounces.
The house rule was that it bounced to a new target for every even roll it landed on. No,
that was part of the skill. Because remember, it had those cards, and that was part of the skill.
I thought that wasn't actually how Chromatic Orb worked, though.
No, it did. But what it was is it was only supposed to fail once and hit somebody on our side. Well, it wasn't supposed to hit. It could have hit nobody. But he, being the DM, said, "Well, you crit failed. It hit, I believe, me in the back." And then
it hit Matt first because I nearly killed him.
Yeah, and then he decided that it was going to bounce, and then every roll after that, it bounced continuously to us.
Well, because he had me roll attacks for each one it bounced off.
Yeah, and it kept landing on even numbers, but following the crit, it was hitting our targets. All bad. All bad. She hit everyone with a chromatic orb. I think 3 of our 5 players died immediately.
No, no one died. Matt almost died. What happened was I had to roll an element what was gonna be per day, and it happened to be fire, which Matt's character was weak to. And yours was half resistant, so you didn't take as much damage as everyone else.
Yeah, I survived it because I was a tiefling.
Cat wiping parties since 2009.
I don't mean to.
and it was her first attack.
It was my first attack.
That's great.
Cat has another. Did you guys ever hear Cat's DMing story?
Oh, Cat, did you DM?
Tell it.
She DM'd it once.
Once, literally once.
What edition?
5th.
5th? Okay.
So I thought.
Tell her what happened to my wizard cat. Tell her.
So I thought I did a reasonably decent challenge for the group, except for the fact that I never rolled below a 19. And literally, I couldn't punch the dice because everyone was staring at them.
It went about as well as your first time DMing, Jen.
Oh no, shut up. That was my very first time DMing ever. And 5e had literally just released, and I had the dumb little box set for it.
We were still using, I think, not even the real...
it wasn't. It was the pre stuff.
Yeah, we were using the PDF books. Was how new it was.
Well, I used the box books, so they
Yeah.
weren't even like fully books. They were just like pamphlets, basically.
Yeah, you
And
had
the
that one. I
problem,
think we had the PDF.
the problem was that I read the monster stat block wrong, and I mixed up HP and XP.
Oh no.
So
So they're fighting goblins.
So for those who don't know, in the Lost Mines of Phandelver, the first combat that you come to is an ambush by, I think, 5 or 6 goblins. Who
It's about 6 goblins.
In standard D&D, goblins have about, I think, 8 HP, if I'm remembering that stat block correctly. Her goblins had 100.
That they were like 5 XP or 5 HP. For each
They're supposed to be like 5 to 10 HP, but instead I was reading the experience, which was like 50 experience.
Or yeah.
So it was like they had like 50 HP on my counters, and
Was
I when
I wasn't immediately killing them?
Yeah, like you guys were giving each other looks and looking at me, and Max was just confused because he was brand new to 5e as well. Well, he was brand new to tabletops in general, and so he's like, what?
Well, I'm playing my character Bad Joke Jonas that you just mentioned, and I'm like, I'm putting arrows into these things, like headshotting them and everything. And
you didn't have Bad Joke Jonas back then.
No, that was where
the campaign.
I
was playing a paladin.
Yeah.
Oh, so that was like what we went into eventually would become Bad Joke Jonas.
Yeah. Well, you retconned it so we didn't die.
Yeah, I retconned it because it was my mistake.
Yeah,
my big problematic mistake.
Yeah, the problem with mine was I was playing the things correctly. I was killing everyone.
She landed her first attack on my mage on my wizard with a critical hit at max damage.
Oh,
yeah.
I had 4 HP. She dealt 12.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was pretty great. It was an instant death because I was more than twice his health.
Brickers didn't have a fucking chance.
I didn't mean to.
But you gotta admit, like, even though I was brand new to DMing when we finally did have like an actual session at our house with Bad Joke Jonas, like,
oh yeah, it was great.
It was pretty great. Like, I was surprised at, like, for new DMs, is like you sometimes get surprised at how well you can improv on certain situations, like when you got that lucky coin that I gave you.
Yeah.
It's like that wasn't in the module at all, and back then I was only running off of pre-made campaigns. Like, I hate pre-made campaigns now. Yeah. I like stealing ideas from them, but I really don't like running pre-made campaigns at all because I like to have more of a loose storyline, personally.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to DM
it. Luckily I kept at it, and I got good, because apparently I've converted like 6 people to actually liking D&D.
Well, so we were playing with 2 people that we had never played with. One of them was actually I don't even know if you remember the day that I got drunk at your house, too drunk at your house. Remember the guy that was with us? Or I don't even know if you remember him. Was it
the day that you painted my bathroom?
Let's not talk about that part. We didn't have to bring that part up.
I'm just asking if that's the time that we're talking about.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, cool.
That's the one. Anyway,
nice of you to provide paints. Those are so expensive.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. So that guy and his friend, it was all of our first time playing together. And
I don't even remember because all I remember is Red Dragon Inn.
Did you say Bad Dragon Inn?
Yeah, I actually said Bad Dragon. Oh my god.
Dipping your bad dragons during that day.
Let's get a new sponsor up in here.
I think you threw it at Kat, didn't you?
What?
That one other dragon.
Red Dragon?
Something. No, I don't remember.
Red Dragon Inn was the game that we were playing.
She just embarrassed me with the stories.
Yeah. Oh no, that's right. You were telling us about it. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Anyways, so it was our first time playing, and Kat was like gonna DM for us, and we all died in like 3 turns or something stupid. And once again, we all just kind of looked at each other and shut our books, and we're like, well, that's done. And then Kat proceeded to take her, very quietly, take her dice and just put them in a bag, and she said, they'll never come out of here. She put them away in forever jail.
Oh my gosh. I've had to put dice in dice jail before.
I TPK purely on accident using like standard boss characters. Just really, really good rolls.
Yeah, Izzy says classic homicidal cat.
I swear it's not true.
I don't know. For somebody that likes to burn down orphanages.
Yeah, seems like you like to
I
kill
was
people,
the
Kat.
one in the orphanage. That was my character.
I mean,
Died. The character died.
I mean, just because your character's suicidal doesn't mean that they're also homicidal.
Right?
Well, to be fair, her character was stopping that orphanage from being burned. Then you guys killed her.
Yeah. Well, no,
I killed her?
No,
You helped kill her.
she was dead by the time
She-
they found her.
Oh, right. Yeah, she was dying. That's right. She was dying, and you guys did not offer her the Revivify potion.
Oops. That's an expensive magic item.
You were going to use it on a dog.
And that's where my trap bar came in.
Well, if Kat didn't feel like using it on a dog that she loved and she cried over, would she really want us to use it on her?
To be fair, it wasn't my character at that point.
Yeah.
But speaking about bad players, I've had one very bad player ever, and that was like one of the guys that came in during Okinawa because he heard that we were running a game, and he's like, I want to be a part of it too. I've played Pathfinder, and I've done this, and I've done that, and he's like one of those guys that have DM'd before, and so every time a roll comes up or combat comes up, he keeps telling me what the rules are for Pathfinder. And I'm like, I'm running a 5e. I'm not going to deal with your flat-footed weirdness. I understand. I've played Pathfinder. I was like, but this isn't Pathfinder. And then on top of that, every chance he got, he gaslighted the entire group so that he could use the group gold to buy whatever he wanted. And then when they were in a town that was like cut off from trade because of issues with things going on around the city, he decided to look up the prices for things and tell me what the prices are, because he's like, I'm going to buy this and this and this. And I'm like, okay, let me tell you the prices. He's like, no, I got them right here. And I'm like, yeah, but those are the average prices according to a book, and you don't know what the prices are for this city. And he's like, no, but these are the prices. And he kept arguing with me on every single thing. And he was like, the entire group, every time he talked, you could see everybody's faces just dropped. One of our friends that was in the group is a really jolly, fun guy. And like every session that this guy was in, which was a total of 3, by the way.
Oh, God.
Every session this guy was in, our good friend who was always like, yeah, let's do it, is like always supportive and stuff. Like, he'd just like lay down on the couch and wait for it to be over. And that's how you knew how bad it was. So it wasn't just me getting frustrated with this guy for like trying to backseat DM, tell me what to do, when he doesn't even have the rules right because we're playing 5e, not fucking Pathfinder. And the worst part was I had to like talk to this guy multiple times between sessions and be like, hey, you need to stop this. Like, I try to be really nice about it. I'm not trying to kick him out. I'm trying to get him to like be cohesive with the group. Nothing's working. And then finally, like, I got into a weird little argument with him where he's like, well, I mean, I don't see why I need to come anymore. You got, like, this is just, you're not doing a good job in the first place. And I'm like, okay, then, cool. Don't worry about showing up next time, then. And he's like, wait, what? Well, then I guess you don't need to show up to mine, because he was running Pathfinder at the same time. And I'm like, that's cool. I didn't want to continue playing anyway.
Yeah. Sometimes you just have to say, like, hey, man, look, you're not welcome at my table if this is how you're going to continue to behave.
Dude, I tried to be super nice about it, and it wasn't working. And so finally, I just had to be like, "Nope, bye."
I mean, I don't believe I've ever actually kicked anyone out of my table. Or
That's the only person I've ever had to kick.
Yeah, but I've definitely been to a table where we kicked the table.
Oh,
like we were just like, we're gonna go.
I also heard that you were in a group that used tables as weapons.
Oh, that happened once. Yeah, that was...
Yeah, that was the group you joined afterwards. After we were using tables as weapons.
Yeah, and doors. No, yeah, we definitely had to walk away from a table once. Back when Kat and I first started spending time together, we decided we had wanted to find somewhere to play D&D. And so we went on, I'm not even sure if the website's still around, meetup.com.
I don't know, I met you on Reddit.
Yeah, we almost never went that route to find you because of this.
Oh, I'm so glad you did though.
So we met up with a group, which already felt like it was gonna be weird because it took place, like, we drove there together and it was like a trailer park, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with trailer parks, but it was like a trailer park in a bad area of a town, and when you went in there, like, you could spot which house was the house we were going to be playing in.
Oh, no.
Because it was, like, definitively dirtier than the other houses.
Oh, man.
And we were like, ooh, not sure how I feel about this, but we're already here. we had driven, like, 30 minutes, so we were like, let's find out. And this is in no way, like, a slight against anyone, that is not fully abled or anything like that. I'm just setting the scene here. We knock on the door of the trailer, and this guy opens the door. It's this really big dude. But he's wearing, like, all black and a fedora, and I'm not making that up. Like, all black and a fedora.
Yeah, he's clearly one of those people.
He was 100% one of those, and I'm not even joking. He leads us in, and we were like, "Oh, this is your house?" And he's like, "Oh no, I don't live here. This is my friend's house." And he points us to his friend, who's going to be the DM, and it is a man with, and again, I'm not making this up. He's in a wheelchair. He has one foot, and is in his underwear in the wheelchair.
Oh no. Oh no.
And he at least was like, let me put a blanket on or something, which is okay, he's trying, we're good. The guy in the wheelchair was the nicer of the two guys.
Well, of course he's not wearing a fedora.
Well, okay, so three guys. This other guy does show up, and this guy is one of those guys who just can't stop talking. Like, he would not stop talking, but not about anything that was like we're listening to. Like,
wait, which guy? Fedora or Wheels?
No, the new guy. The third guy shows
We
up.
got nicknames for him
okay.
already.
The third guy shows up, and all he keeps talking about is how he's writing a new system that has robots and somehow also anime hentai worked in as like an RPG system.
Yeah, that ties into his character, by the way.
Run away, cat! It's not safe anymore.
No, yeah. So she's sitting like as far next to me as she could. And at the time we weren't dating, but she immediately introduced herself as my girlfriend because she was
Obvious
so
reasons are
concerned.
obvious.
Yeah, so concerned with what was happening.
Oh my god.
Partway through the introductions, I spot and kind of am shocked by a giant furry head. And the guy's like, the guy in the wheelchair
why are you shocked? Why are you
I don't
shocked?
know. I don't know. But the guy in the wheelchair goes, "Oh, that's my fursuit. It's part of my fursona." And I'm just like, well, that's a thing that's also happening now.
That is a thing.
Okay, what campaign are we playing? Or like, what are we playing? And he's like, okay, well, it's a 5th edition D&D. I have custom races. They're all furries. And then on top of that, the pictures for each of these custom races is incredibly suggestive, like Red Rocket Out kind of photos of like anime furries.
Yep.
Yep.
Like, yep.
I don't know what you expected.
And
This
he's
is
like,
going exactly how I thought it would.
yes, it is.
Bringing back bad memories, man. This is bringing back some bad memories.
So these are all very big red flags, and we're already like, okay, I don't know if we're coming back for a second session, but we'll continue for today, right? And
Okay, pause for a moment. I'm surprised you even bothered to meet Max and I in person from Reddit.
Right. Now you get that. Now you get the, like, we'll meet you at a pizza place. We're not going to meet you at any houses.
That's why we did that.
Yeah, no, Max was on the same page. He was like, they're not coming over to our house until we meet them first.
Yeah, we were not going to any houses until we met you.
In fact, he was upset in the first place that I managed to contact anybody on Reddit and be like, yeah, let's meet up.
So we were like, okay,
Oh my God.
we were like talking, kind of sidebarring. We were like, I don't think we're coming back for another session, but let's not be rude. Like, we'll just finish the one that's happening, and we'll let it go, and just that'll be it, right? We'll say it wasn't for us, and thank you very much, and we'll leave. The big fedora guy at one point goes, "Oh, is your character female?" to her, and she goes, "Yeah, why?" And he goes, "Oh, well then I want you to know that my character will try to sleep with you."
Oh, God.
No. Okay, no. It wasn't the fact that it was female. It was the fact that I was playing a halfling, they're playing a dwarf.
Yeah.
Like, don't be intimidated. He hits on everything that's smaller than him.
Were you
Exactly.
playing a halfling, or were you forced to play a furry version of a halfling?
No, I played a halfling.
She played a
Okay.
regular halfling, yeah.
Okay, now who said that? Was that Meals on Wheels or was that
That
Fedora
was
Castro?
That was Fedora Man.
No, the Wheels was the DM.
Oh no,
Oh,
Fedora Castro.
Yeah.
That's his name.
Yeah.
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 So the third guy played Dragonborn Fuda.
Yes.
No!
Oh man.
No!
Not joking. That was a thing.
And
I know
described
what
it-
WoW server he played on.
Wait, and described it specifically as only
Not mine.
wearing a leather harness. So Fuda, but rocking it out with his cock out, or her cock out, I guess.
Wait.
Yeah. Just let that
Yeah.
one sink in there, buddy.
I gotcha.
not that
I
deep,
gotcha on
apparently.
that.
This is the third guy. This is the guy who was talking about like robot hentai. Leather harness.
I told you
Dick
it
out.
makes sense.
Yeah.
If you think about it, it makes sense.
I'm certain that Fedora Man was hinting at the fact that like his character is going to try to sleep with you, whether your character wants it or not.
Oh, it was very much implied.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, so
about
your
that
character
point,
should definitely not
And
fall
that's
asleep.
why I went, oh, our characters are dating too.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
then
pull
He's
the
a
relationship
racist.
bullshit.
I mean, a rapist.
wait, and then he still made it awkward and
Oh my
continued
gosh.
to try to hit on her. And it was about that point I think we excused ourselves and said we had a family emergency to get to, and just never came back.
Yeah.
Good job.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
That was
wait!
like-
I forgot. There was another female there, and she noped the fuck out in like 15 minutes. She
Good
like
for
checked her
her.
phone and goes, "I gotta go," and left. And they were like, "Should we wait for her?" And they're like,
No.
we were like, they're not She's not coming back. We should also like that was about the time we were like getting kind of awkward too. Yeah,
Her danger sensors went off and she left.
Well, she showed up without anybody. Like, it was just her.
Oh my god! If I was her, I would have showed up within the first like 2 minutes. I would have been like, oh man, today's bad. I think my period just started. I gotta go.
To be fair, I had been on this meetup before, and I had never met the dude with wheels, or the fedora guy, but it was the same meetup group. They met with like different people. The group that I met was much more normal. And I was like, well, I mean, it should be fine. Like, they were nice the first time when I went alone. Second time, no. Different people, different everything. That vibe was... That vibe got dark. And I think the person, the dude with the wheelchair, I want to say like 6 months later, he was like in that meetup, like asking people who'd been to a meetup to chip in because his trailer had burned down or something.
Oh no!
He was like, "Hey guys, I need some help rebuilding my home."
Yeah, I don't know how you guys even became our friends.
No, we were very
after that.
So
we had considered never doing that again,
Yeah.
but we only decided because we were like, okay, if we go to this pizza place and it's weird, we'll eat our pizza and we'll just fucking go home.
And
I think the other half of it. I think the other half of it was like I was a girl.
I
Well, it was more like you two were married. I felt a little more comfortable. It's like, it's probably not going to be as bad.
Right. Yeah, we assumed it's another couple. It should be fine.
Were you guys like very relieved to meet me and Max and us just be chill?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Like after that last time, you're like, this is the last fucking time if it's another bunch of weirdos.
That first one happened like 3 months before we met you.
Oh my god!
We were really sus of the whole situation.
Oh my god!
We like,
I would have given up after that. Honestly.
Yeah.
We're like, okay.
That's what happened to me.
We're like, it's been 3 months. We'll just. It couldn't go wrong twice, right?
The thing is, I really wanted to play because I love writing stories. Like, it doesn't matter if like I'm just a fucking side character no one's gonna really talk to. I like being involved. I like writing.
Yeah,
and that's my whole thing.
So because
it's really shocking that I'm a fucking main character, and I don't know what to do with it all the time.
so Kat, it was because we were married. It was because we were married, and you felt like, okay, they're married. They're not going to try to hit on me or do something weird to me.
Yes, absolutely.
See, Max was pissed at me. He's like, "What are you doing trying to meet people off the fucking internet? What the hell?"
Now you have them deliver your food.
Oh, yeah, I know, right? But it was like off of Reddit specifically.
Now you have strangers pick your food up, put it in their car, and take it to you.
Yeah, I know, right?
And hope they didn't touch it.
Yeah, that reminds me of the last time I met up anybody for gaming in person. And it was just a complete nightmare. What B describes is pretty much what I went through, except it ended with me falcon punching the DM.
I mean, first of all, what do you mean? You're saying after all the great sick goes away, you're not coming out here to visit at least once for a session?
Oh no! You guys, I will. You guys, I definitely will. But no, dude.
So who's gonna DM?
No,
not me.
But,
Never again.
So guys, like,
you have to unlock her DM dice.
It wasn't a guy in a wheelchair I had to go through. It was a fucking person in a complete furry suit.
Oh no!
He showed up in the fursuit.
Who wanted to be their fucking who wanted to be their MLP fucking persona the entire time.
Oh, not just a fursuit, it's a My Little Pony fursuit?
Oh wait.
Oh god, so it gets worse, And he was a fucking zoophile.
Oh no.
And he wanted to
that's a line. That's a line about Cass.
And he wanted to bring his bullshit into the thing, and there were 3 females there, and the entire time I'm just getting more and more pissed off and uncomfortable. And
Can't we call them ladies or women?
Sorry.
Because like, oh my god, you're just like on that line and talking like them.
Oh God, sorry. My apologies. The ladies of the group, they were unfortunately having to be subjected to this horrifyingness. And see, here's the worst part. That fucking MLP zoophile motherfucker was the DM.
Oh.
So every NPC that he plays ever.
Exactly. We get 2 hours into it.
Oh, you got 2 hours into it.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Yeah, no, that's a record.
Oh no, it just got to the point where I was just being ignored and he wanted to just go into his weird hentai zoophile fantasies with the ladies.
Well, he wanted a harem.
Wait. Hold on. I should point out there was a very important plot point in one of the characters that we met in that game that they were running. He made sure to describe that she was a red fox woman who was in heat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember that or blocked that one out. But that was the thing that happened.
I blocked it out.
I should also point out his persona mask was a fox. So just carry on.
So when the crescendo was hitting its max, all I remember just saying at the table is, I punched the DM. Everybody stops. And the weird, freaky masked motherfucker just looks at me and goes, care to repeat that? I go, I punched the fucking DM. And I hit him. I looked at the ladies. I went, I apologize. And I left. I go, I'm sorry you had to see that. I just couldn't take it anymore.
See, this is where I think I've been lucky, is I've never had to deal with all this bullshit. And, like, on top of that, the only people that I had ever met online to play was you guys.
Oh. Also, the guy, when we were clearly backing the fuck out of that game, the guy had the, we'll call it audacity, to ask us if we would be willing to come to his weekly furry movie meetup, where they would go in full furry suit to a coffee shop, and then a movie.
Did he think you guys were furries?
I assume he thought we were furries, or like down to swing or something.
That's weird.
Who remembers
I don't know.
Who remembers the dorkly bit with the down the yiff when Mario falls down a hole? There's a Goomba dressed as a fox. Hey man, are you down to yiff?
Oh,
No,
God.
I am not down to yiff. I am not a furry. Please leave me alone. Cat, it's because your name was Cat.
Have you guys ever watched Flash Skits?
Excuse me while I Google YIF.
Well, I went by Katie, so it wasn't because of Cat.
No. And
Yeah, I
don't
believe-
look up yiff. Don't look up
Yeah.
yiff.
I
You
have
don't
to
wanna-
now. I have to.
It's far too late.
Have you guys ever watched Flash Skits?
Yes.
Yes! The fucking Apex Legends one is fucking hilarious.
But by the way, Richard, if you really want to go down that rabbit hole, look up clopping.
No.
Oh
Accidental pun.
no! I accidentally learned what that was one day, and I regret my life.
Wait, what?
Dan told me about that one, and now I wish he hadn't. But now that he did, I'm going to tell you.
Why does Dan know what it is?
Because he's a My Little Pony fan. He's not a furry. He dislikes furries. The reason I knew what it was he was so mad that was a thing.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, actually, I can
Clapping.
understand that. I'm with Dan on the same thing. I like My Little Pony, but I'm not fucking furry. And clopping is the most disgusting thing on this planet.
Yeah.
Alright, now I gotta look up clopping.
Now I gotta look up clopping.
No. Just immediately go to Google Images and then type it in.
Nope.
No.
I'm not that dumb.
Well, you'll learn immediately.
He's like, this is the risky
Wait.
pick of the day.
I don't think it's that. It's definitely not a carload of pussy. It's definitely not that.
Put in MLP clopping.
No.
You'll get the answer. you're
MLP?
looking for. And maybe turn off Google Safe Search.
Hold on, I'm more interested
That's never
in
on.
Carload of pussy.
Well, I'm just saying that will never be used in a nerdum because that's just completely out of the realm of fantasy. It's not even realistic enough for a fantasy scenario.
Any scenario involving that, you would just be like, "Well, this is a dream.
Yeah.
This is fake." Once
When we wake up, Q Max's boredom question. When we wake up.
Oh
Uh,
God.
Yeah, so mine is that incident. I really do like writing. Like, I started pen and paper with my friend, and I have to have, like, a character story for everything I do, but I just have fun.
You gotta have purpose.
Yeah, if ever one of our games ends, I might DM for like on Discord maybe.
You don't know how defensively I just like was just protecting of the outbreak. I was like, never.
No, I'm just saying like eventually campaigns end. You don't want them to go on
Exactly, I know
forever
that.
because you don't
Well, very
like
true. Very true.
you don't want to run it into the ground.
Yeah, I mean, eventually plus, even if they
Naturally
don't end,
wrap up.
yeah, they'll come to a conclusion at some point. A lot of times, most campaigns never make it to like the quote unquote end of like leveling cycles and stuff. It's really rare that happens.
Is there a level cap?
Yeah, 20.
20 in D&D.
Okay.
Yeah, and like 5e it's 20. I've never had any campaign reach 20, but I have had a campaign reach natural end for once. And that was like one of the ones that I was running in Okinawa. I was really happy about the way that it ended and everything, and all of the players were really happy about the way that it wrapped up as well. Like it was like nice and neat, and it was just before a bunch of people had to leave, so it kind of like worked out perfectly.
Nice.
Yeah, it was great. Like everybody was obviously like when a good thing ends, you're sad to see it go, but you're like, but this was the natural end to it, and it ended perfectly. As much as we love the characters, as much as we love the story that we just went through, like this is where it has to end because it just worked out so perfectly.
Oh, then that's the best way to end it. Then that is.
Yeah. It was like, and it also makes it really fun to look back on because whenever we talk to those people, because like we're all over the world now because they're in the Navy, so it's like whenever we happen to like talk to them on like Messenger or something, it was like every once in a while it's brought up like that campaign that we finished, and they're like, "Oh man, I missed that campaign. Remember when this happened? Oh man, it was so great." It's like it's a great memory once it's ended properly like that.
Yeah. So B, do you know when your story is gonna end? Through
I actually do have the end game planned already. I actually
Nice.
do have.
That's what I want to hear.
I actually have the ending planned. You guys are actually progressing perfectly along.
What's the percentage?
If I was going to give you a percentage, you are just about to hit 20%, 25%.
God damn! I honestly thought we were like 50 to 60%, something like that.
Nope, you are actually just about to clear basically what I like to call the first arc. This is you're getting close to clearing the first arc of this story.
Which, to be fair, not for lack of interest in Outbreak. I really want to know what's going on with that Delta Green.
Oh, I actually have everything prepared and ready for that.
Do I get my specialties that I left you?
Yep,
Because-
I've actually prepared 10 chapters of that.
Hell
So,
yeah.
Jen, in case you didn't know about that,
I don't.
Outbreak. Do you remember when we had that one session where we met like alternate reality us?
Yeah, I remember that. That was one of the few times that I wasn't high.
Right. Yeah. That alternate reality us is Delta Green us, which is an SCP sort of containment group type thing.
We're gonna switch over to that reality next time.
Well, that was the whole reason he brought that up was because we were deciding which game to play, and we settled on Outbreak, but we were also me and Kat at least were really interested in Delta Green, and so he wrote them as like a multiverse type thing, so that when we finish one arc, we could play the other one if we chose to.
Oh, that's kind of cool though. I like that idea.
So
actually, you know who would really love that idea? Sorry. Max would really love that idea.
And that was actually going to be my question: is after we finish this main arc of Outbreak, do we want to go and do an arc of Delta Green?
Yeah. Are we gonna be doing SCP stuff?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so Max is if he doesn't know, don't tell him. Surprise him with it because he will fucking love it. I swear.
No. And the very first session is it's titled Poker Night.
Oh shit! Are we gonna be Ghostbusters?
Oh man. Is it Texas Hold'em?
Oh hell yeah!
Because I fucking love Texas Hold'em, and I'm fucking good at Texas Hold'em.
So technically, you guys, in that universe of Delta Green, the idea is you guys are pretty much Ghostbusters, Monster Hunters, all of that combined, because you're a branch of the SCP Foundation.
Nice.
This world sucks. You're a branch of This World Sucks.
All right, I'm Bill Murray. Called it.
Love it. So, but yeah, and after we finished,
way too involved.
And so then, and so that was the whole plan. Is after we finish this main arc, then we'll go and do an arc of Delta Green, and then so forth, and just switch between the two.
I mean, yeah, that works for me. I'm in.
Sounds fun.
Honestly,
Awesome.
As much as I like Outbreak, and as much as I was into it, that was my first pick. Delta Green was the one that was like, when you first said, "Hey, I want to run a game," I'm thinking Delta Green. I was like, I'm fucking in. You had me sold on
I
that.
feel about SCPs, so you know.
Yeah.
And that's actually one of the other big points that I also want to make sure to say, because we actually still have 15 minutes. But thank you guys. Thank you so much for allowing me to DM. Thank you. Because at the end of the day, because as you said, B, without players, just write a book. But at the end of the day, us GMs, us DMs, however you want to refer to it, I don't hear. Granted, I always see on Twitter and shit like the whole, "Oh yeah, my player." But at the end of the day, I think we still need to say thank you, because you guys are the ones that allow us to start doing this.
For forcing you to be more
it's
active.
Like you're sacrificing your time to the idea of like, will this even be enjoyable? And I just have to say thank you. It means a lot.
Yeah, man. I mean, it means a lot to us, for me at least. It means a lot to me that you take the time out of your life. I know you're just as busy as I am working where you work. There's
a certain amount of time that you have to take out of your week to plan. Absolutely. And just have, like, for me, even though I do the loosey-goosey DM stuff, is like, even then I have to take like a good day or two just to like kind of meditate on what is going to be happening the next game and make sure all my notes are in order on what has happened.
I mean, I'll be honest. I've showed up to a game or two and been like, I have no idea what I'm doing today.
Same. I think every DM has done that at least once, where it's like, this week, what's happening? I don't even remember what happened last time. Let's just go for it, guys.
I mean, you were playing Lancer with me. You saw what happened that day that I forgot to put a map in, and I was just like, you know what? Let's get it. And we just played whatever the fuck was there.
Dude, but you always make it fun, though. That's the thing. You don't let that shake you up. It doesn't. So for me, I didn't even really notice that much. That's why I was just sitting here thinking when you just said that. I was like, dude, I don't even fucking remember that. I just remember having a good session.
Yeah, most of the time. Well, not most of the time. There's a lot of times where sometimes, you never get to plan as much as you and prepare as much as you want.
You're right.
You never get to, but there's definitely been a session or two, which to all the aspiring DMs that might listen to this, maybe someday, if you ever are worried that you don't have the wherewithal to prepare as much of a game as you want, like I said earlier, that never matters once the players are involved. You could plan out 1,000,001 scenarios for how to handle one situation, and your players will think of the one you forgot every single time. You don't have to be a master of writing outlines and theories and stories, and you don't need any of that. You just have to have a will to have fun, a slightly creative mind, and the ability to just look at your players and go, how do you want to do this today? What do you want to happen? Let's make this go. Let's make this happen. Let's make this together. Let's sit down and we're gonna just have a story. And for anyone listening, take it from me, I can't even imagine the stories that I tell. But it's one of my favorite hobbies in this world to sit down with my friends and go, let's write a world.
Also, don't forget, like, remember, I first started out, I messed up so bad, and now I'm being told by, like, a bunch of people that I'm one of the best DMs that they've had.
Yeah, mistakes
Jen,
happen.
I steal a lot of your tips, Jen.
I
steal a lot of your tips.
You'll start out brand new, you'll start out not knowing a lot, and you just spend that time getting to know the rules of the system that you're playing, and getting to just kind of be expressive with your ideas.
Yeah. Mistakes happen, but the experience comes as you do it, as you play it, as you sit down and learn it. There's nothing wrong with being a first-time player and DM, as long as you're willing to take some time and learn the rules. Like she said, learn the rules. And you don't have to learn every single detail of every single rule.
Yeah, you don't need to memorize every single thing.
Yeah, that will come with time. What you need to learn as a DM is you have to sit down and go, how do I make this fun? And then when it comes to specific rules, like in D&D, one of the hardest things for most people to wrap their mind around is spell slots and spell casting. As a DM, that's not your problem to memorize every rule about that, especially every spell. Let your players do their homework. If a player wants to play a spellcaster, let them sit down and learn the rules. And if they don't want to learn the rules, go, well, you're just not a very good spellcaster now, are you? You know, sometimes you got to sit down and tell your players, this is your part to play in. If, you'll learn the things that they can do eventually. You'll learn it as you go on. Once you've seen your player cast his umpteenth fireball, you're going to know what fireball does. You're going to know how his spell slots work. But let your players take the burden off of you. Let them learn the minutia of backstabs and the secrets of how to handle warlock spell casting and not using spell slots the way that you think, or the paladin not even using them for spells despite being a half caster. Those are smite slots. And if your paladin,
those are smite slots, my friend.
if your paladin
have spell slots, that's
I'm just saying, if your paladin is casting Zone of Truth, tell him he's doing it wrong.
I feel called out.
But like, no, so I gave B some advice. It was like, when you're a player, it like, okay, so D&D and most tabletop games are just like improv simulator, basically, with your friends.
Yeah.
And it's like, so when you're a player, it's yes and, like, what you want to do. When you're a DM, it's yes but.
Exactly.
I took that piece of advice too hard. That actually helps a lot when you're thinking.
It helps a lot because the DM can't just be like yes and just let the players do whatever they want, because there's always consequences for players. Like good consequences, bad consequences. So for the DM, it's yes but. For the players, it's yes and.
And super gamer pro tip: if you're ever DMing and you really want to make your players get set the mood for anxiety, just roll some random dice and go, oh, okay.
I do that all the time. I actually do that all the time.
Or look at it and make your eyes go big and go, ooh. Your players will hate it, but also love it because it builds that tension.
Or just never fucking miss.
Here's a fun fact. That's
Or just be
also how
cat.
Al Qaeda plays as a DM. Because you're a terrorist if you do that.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, I got that. I got that when you were saying it, but at the same time, oof.
Oof.
Gamby, I just want to say thank you for not letting me take the back seat like I tend to do. And forcing me to
Yeah.
Well, I was actually
Don't say
thinking
that,
a lot
Kat.
about what you were saying, B. It's like I actually feel a little bit guilty because I know people are shy, but I like giving people the spotlight because everyone should be the star.
Oh no,
And
no, of course.
that's my
of
way
course.
of thinking, and I feel like an asshole at times because that's my way of thinking is that I'm not trying to make people. It's that I want everyone to shine.
No, it's not making you uncomfortable. That's how I tend to be because I don't know. I feel like I don't do as well, so I just kind of I'm just gonna sit back and be a support.
Don't feel bad about taking the back seat because that's where all the fun takes place. Remember that.
I don't know.
like I
That's
said-
some of my favorite seeds.
no,
That's some
B.
of my favorite seeds.
Yeah.
Like I was saying though, I wasn't trying to imply that you were forcing anyone to do anything they didn't want to. What I meant was that when I was just saying a general thing when you are DMing, for anyone, was when you're sitting down, don't always assume that the player being quiet is being quiet because they don't feel comfortable playing. As in they don't. Maybe they're just a shy or quiet person. Sometimes you have to let them just come out of their shell a little on their own. You can nudge them along, that's fine. But taking someone who is obviously very nervous about playing, like a new player, for example, someone who's never played, they don't really know if what they're doing is right, and then you dump the spotlight on them, and you're like, make a decision, go. For some players, that sink or swim might help, but some players, that will scare them off. And I was saying that as a general rule, because she was saying, I want to put everyone in the spotlight. You can do that, but it's a fine line that you have to kind of walk, because sometimes you can scare off a player who's uncomfortable having that much attention on them. Test the waters, find out whether your players are comfortable with that, or even hell, have a conversation with them and say, hey, look, I noticed this session you were really kind of reserved, kind of quiet. You okay? Is everything? Do you want to be more active? We can. You don't have to feel like you're forced to, but if you want to, we can do that. And it's fully okay. Have those conversations with your players. Have the conversation with your player when he's being somewhat problematic. Don't be afraid to tell them, hey, this is my table. You know what I mean? It's always something that you got to look out for. Again, at the end of the day, if my players are having fun, I'm having fun. And sometimes, someone is having an off day, they may not want to have the spotlight. And that's okay too. But, make them feel involved, at least in the sense that they have choice and agency. Don't just make this, don't go ahead and make decisions for someone because, they're quiet and they won't make the decision themselves. And don't also throw them right into the wolves and be like, make a decision or die. Both of those are very, very strong ends of a spectrum, and you just got to be careful. You got to be looking out for your players, not careful. I should say that wrong. I shouldn't say it that way. You should be looking out for your players. It's your job to have their best interest in your heart. Hey, by the way, Richard, I really hope you can hear this, but
Yeah. Wait, what was that?
Dice.
Is that like a bag of M&Ms that you're smashing into the table?
Nope, those are dice, boy.
Doy.
Wait, I have a bag of dice too. That's
Yeah,
cool.
but I can roll it and go.
Stop.
I got dice. And that's just
Yeah,
this is like
made me
less than
feel-
half my dice.
Oh no,
Made
that
me
was
feel dread.
that was just 2 sets I like threw on the table just to do that for him.
All snake eyes.
Oh God.
Like it's just 28 dice. That's 2 sets. That's
And
a
they were
small
all ones.
small handful. Oh, they were probably all ones. I roll the worst. No,
Yeah.
actually, they would all be crits right now
Okay.
because I'm not rolling for any particular reason.
Nice.
The second that I tell them it's for a reason, they betray me.
Yeah. Well, like unless I tell my dice that they're special DM dice, then they're happy.
Yeah, I have to lie to mine. I have to go. I'm just gonna roll this for fun. Throw it on the table. 20. Just kidding. It was for no.
And then tell mine that I'm running a game and then never miss.
Yeah, seriously. Don't patronize the dice.
You know what to do, dice.
You're the best dice.
Jen's over here like rubbing her dice. Like you're a pretty die.
Oh, I do that. I do that thing where when I have dice that I've picked out to play, I set them all out with like the highest side up, and I'm like, you know how to sit. This is how you sit. When I roll you, this is how you.
That's called
You
that's
don't
called
start it
staging.
off. Yeah. You don't start it
Yeah.
off by saying dice to meet you.
No. I treat them like pets, where I train them.
Your life.
They get rewarded. They get rewarded when they do well. They get ignored when they do bad.
These are the dice that do not get rolled.
I seriously though never touch those dice again after
And
that
it's like-
happened.
It's like you look at them when it rolls, when you get that D20 that rolls a 1, you look at it and you tell it, you're going in the bag with the rest of the unloved dice.
Hey Richard, check your DMs real quick.
Bro,
Sliding
don't
into
slide
them.
into my DMs on air.
Oh, I already slid into them, buddy.
Oh man.
Oh my.
Full
You
force
slid into your
press.
dungeon master?
Yeah.
Oh.
Alright. Alright, I'll entertain you, B. So it's about that time for us to go. And I have one question for you. Did you like that?
No! Why'd you do it? Why did you do that? Why did you do that? What? Oh my god.
I know I did.
No!
I
Gross!
did as well.
Why? Why are you all like
Time is
this?
up and so am I.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, yes or no?
No.
That wasn't the question.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of the Dirty Nerdy Podcast.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay.